Hey everyone, it's Amanda again. I thought I would do a video explaining my personal experience using Noom and then kind of go over the amount of calories I ate and how that changed over the course of time in my journey. So, as many of you are already aware, I'm a registered nurse in Nebraska and I joined Noom in December 2019. Since then, I've lost 125 pounds, so I'm very excited about that. I was actually going to do this video last night, but I had just come off of a 3-night stretch. I work 12-hour overnights, and they're pretty rough without getting into too much detail, but I pretty much just took a day off yesterday of like everything. I just needed it. Sometimes that's okay. So, so first off, let's just kind of go over Noom and how Noom works. So, Noom is an app you put on your phone and you have to sign up for like a subscription. I did a year. I found like a promo code that got me a year. I can't remember how much it was off, but it really kind of helped me afford it a little bit better. Um, what you're really paying for is like the use of the articles and the goal specialist. So Noom has like so many like daily task articles that you're supposed to go over every day, and they kind of go over the realistic some realistic aspects to weight loss. They go over what your body is doing while you're losing weight, and they go over like challenges that everyone faces when losing weight. They really acknowledge that these things just happen, and they give you some tips and tricks to combat them as you come across them in your journey. So I felt that those were really a key aspect for me and why I was able to succeed. I really liked reading more about what's happening to our body and how it's changing while we're losing weight, as well as kind of reading the tips and tricks that they give you in the articles, because weight loss isn't easy, and I feel like Noom does a really good job of acknowledging the struggles that everyone faces. So I feel like those were kind of the key points for me. Noom also they give you a amount of calories for each day, but they also have a food color system based on caloric density. So you have green foods, yellow foods, and red foods. And green foods are the least caloric dense, and those are things like fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. Then you have yellow foods, you're supposed to eat these moderately. Um, and those are things like proteins and breads and stuff like that. And then you have red foods, which are the most caloric dense but not necessarily unhealthy. Yes, unhealthy foods will fall into this category, but there are also plenty healthy foods that fall in here as well. They're just higher in calories, things like nuts and oils and stuff like that. So they give you a percentage of how many of your calories you're supposed to fit into the yellow and the red. Green is not limited, but I think in one of the articles it says like 35% of your foods will come from green foods, and then the rest will be into yellow and then red. I felt like this was a good guide for me. I didn't get too crazy on trying to get, the exact amount of yellows or the exact amount of reds in a day. I just tried to make, healthier choices, eating mindfully, and just use it as a guide basically. There's also a goal specialist that you are assigned, and there's a lot of bad rap in the Noom community about these goal specialists, but I feel like a lot of people have too high expectations for this goal specialist. If they were there as a life coach, you'd be paying a lot more for Noom than you are. They are there simply to check in on you once a week and have you think about your journey, think about your weight loss, and make your own goals each week. That is all they're there for. That's why they're called a goal specialist. So I didn't have any issues with mine. She would check in on me at least once a week. She prompted me to set my own goals. If I remember right, I think one of my first ones was to drink more water. I set a certain amount that I wanted to drink each week, and I downloaded an app just to track my water. And then I would like send her a screenshot when when I met that goal, and I was really excited that I was actually starting to change my habits, and she was pretty supportive. I wouldn't say she was like spectacular, and they can come across as a little robotic. That's the other complaint that I see a lot. But but really I just like the task of setting my own goals. I just feel like that kept me focused on what I wanted to do, kept me focused on my journey, and it really helped me. So I know not everyone gets anything out of it, but I certainly did, and I'm glad I had that as part of it. So now I'm just kind of gonna go over some of the things I didn't like. So you do track your calories on Noom. Um, you can scan foods in or search it in the database, but the database was wrong on many items, and that goes along with the amount of calories it is, as well as even generating the color that the food would fall under. So if you kind of look at a package that you're scanning in, it would say one thing, and then Noom would say something else, and that's kind of frustrating when you're trying to track your calories and the database isn't right. And then as far as the colors go, there's a calculation on how to determine what color a food would fall under, and Noom would be off a lot. So you would like do the math and it would be red, but it would put it under the green category. And so then when you're looking at your summary at the end of the day, it would be off because red foods were showing up under green or vice versa, and then so your summary is wrong. And I just feel like if you're going to include that as part of it, your database should be more accurate. So that was something I did kind of have an issue with. Eventually, I think about 6 months in, I started tracking on MyFitnessPal instead. This also kind of aligns with when I started exercising more. I started working out 3 days a week at the gym, like hour-long sessions, doing a combination of strength training and cardio. So I really wanted to make sure that I was getting enough protein and just kind of paying more attention to my macros. And that's not something you can easily see on the Noom app. So I started tracking on MyFitnessPal, and I was also lucky in the fact that I could afford a personal trainer. So while I was going to the gym, I was seeing a personal trainer once a week. I had the means to afford it, and I wanted to learn how to build an effective workout because I really didn't have that knowledge, and I'm still learning. So I'm still working out with her once a week. Noom kind of dropped me down to 1,200 calories at this point. In the beginning, I think I started at 284 pounds, and in the beginning, I think Noom had me set at a little over 1,300 calories. And then after I lost some weight, it dropped me down to 1,200, like I think it just puts many females. And there is like a speed setting that you can change on Noom if you want to lose weight fast or slow. They have like a turtle speed or a cheetah speed, and I must have had it set on the fast speed, so it dropped me down to 1,200. But I don't always think that their amount of calories that they suggest is accurate. So I calculated my TDEE on a website online, and I can put that link in the information below. It generated based on the activity level, your height, your weight, and your gender, and it gives you the amount of calories you should be eating to lose X amount of weight. So for me, it said I should be eating closer to 1,500 calories. So I started eating closer to 1,500 calories, and I was still steadily losing weight because prior to that I had hit kind of a little plateau that was like a couple weeks long. When I upped my calories, I started losing weight again. Don't always think that you need to eat less food to break a plateau, because a lot of times it's the opposite. You're probably not eating enough calories, and if you give your body the calories that it needs, it will release the weight and you'll break your plateau. At least that's happened to me several times now, where I was eating too little and then I ended up increasing my calories and then I would lose weight again. So just kind of keep that in mind. Use that website that I'm going to put below, and hopefully it'll help you as well. I don't really know that I have anything else to cover in this that kind of explains my experience using Noom and the calories I ate. So if you have any more questions about that, let me know below, or if you're part of my Facebook group, you can let me know on there as well. And I think my next video, I'm going to be going over what I ate, what's always on my grocery list, and what are things that I have to have in my house in order for me to succeed. So I'll be looking forward to that here probably in the next few days, and I'll see you next time.